Hi everyone, my name is Susana Tomasio and I'm a Senior Application Scientist at Collaborative Drug Discovery. I provide technical support to CDD customers, not just in Europe, but all over the world. My background is in computational chemistry and I also did research for several years in drug discovery and drug design. And although the availability of methods, tools, and technology have hugely increased in recent years, we have also been encountering new challenges. Challenges in terms of infrastructure and data, too many systems, tools, and lots of data. Suddenly, we are faced with the issue of having multiple platforms. Science is also much more collaborative nowadays, meaning that quite often we have collaborators on the other side of the globe. So how do we exchange data with them in a secure and easy way? Other challenges might include cost and maintenance of resources. Having multiple tools brings usability challenges in terms of difficulty onboarding and the need for power users. In terms of data challenge, we have the example of the drug discovery process. This overall process includes a timeline of multiple steps. This is an example from Lilly's website. Various types and large numbers of entities that have to be cataloged. Hundreds to thousands of different kinds of assays that are run on these entities. This often results in millions and millions of individual data points that have to be organized and mined. This large amount of data has to be differentially accessed by many scientists, some of whom, for business or security or IP reasons, should only have a limited view of this information. In addition, numbers of documents, notebook, reports, summaries, again with their own security and access needs. I believe this slide gives a good visual summary of the challenge that most scientists face nowadays, dealing with a mix of different entities, molecules and biological entities, proteins, plasmids, DNA, antibodies, multiple types of data, raw data, high content screening data, and to add to this complexity, a variety of tools. Managing data across multiple systems and tools is hard and time-consuming. CDD Vault has 17 years of experience in storing, managing, and organizing chemical and biological data in a collaborative environment. It's a flexible web platform which you can use to store your molecules, your proteins, DNA, and other biological entities along with the assay data. It can be seen as your own single source of truth, your ecosystem where all your internal and external collaborators can access through an easy-to-use web interface. CDD Vault combines features of multiple data management systems into one easy-to-use cloud-based platform. It is intuitive to use, requires no IT support, and training is provided at no cost. Again, I believe this slide gives a nice visual overview of how scientists can organize their multiple types of data and entities through an intuitive GUI. In addition, there is the ability to connect your favorite third-party applications via a RESTful API. The GET, PUT, and POST API calls enables CDD Vault to be the center of any ecosystem of software tools and applications. The modules included in CDD Vault are activity and registration to register entities and assay data, and historically, CDD is best known for managing small molecule data. And even though that is still our strong point, it is now possible to register biological entities like cell lines, plasmids, and antibodies. The other module is the inventory to keep track of the debits and current amounts of the compounds, the visualization to plot, filter, and mine the data, and the ELN to register your experimental procedures in an unstructured, flexible way. In summary, CDD Vault is intuitive, secure, and collaborative. You have full control of what data is private and what data is shared with your collaborators, using our CDD Vault unique project-based collaboration. So let's take a look. Okay, so I'm logged in on my CDD Vault. I can see the name of my vault at the top of the screen. I can see the list of projects that I am a member of on the left-hand side. CDD Vault is based on this concept of projects. We can have multiple projects in the same database. We can have different members and different collaborators in the same vault, and they will only see the data of the project that they are a member of. In this area, this is the area where I can perform the queries across the assays and any substructure searching. And here, this is an example of the types of data that we can store in our private secure vaults. This is a report table. We can see the compounds on the left-hand side, along with the molecule ID. We can see the chemical properties. I am only displaying the molecular weight, but CDD Vault will calculate up to 20 chemical properties when a new structure is added to the vault. And if I want to display the other properties, I can click in Customize my report. CDD Vault uses chemaxon as the chemical cartridge, and therefore these chemical properties are actually calculated by chemaxon. Then we have the molecule fields and batch fields. These fields are created by the Vault administrator, and they will depend on your own business rules. They are user-defined, they are created by the Vault administrator, and then the users can populate these fields when they register the compounds in the database. The molecule fields will contain the information which is common to the molecule, and the batch fields will contain the information which is specific for each batch of the molecule. And then we have the protocols. The concept of a protocol is used to store the assay data, the data that you get either from your experiments or even your computational data. This is a concentration response curve assay. It's calculating an IC50 and generating a dose response curve. I can click in flag outliers and override, and if I wish to remove any of these points from the IC50 calculation, I can simply click on those points, and then as I save the changes, the curve is regenerated, the IC50 is recalculated and updated in the report table. The concept of a protocol can also be used simply to store single point screening assay, as we have in this example in here. And then we also have the ability to perform calculations on the readouts. So this is the molecule overview page of a compound. We can see the molecule ID, which is generated by CDD Vault. We can see the molecule information and all the chemical properties. In the batches subtab, we can see how many batches we have for that particular molecule, and we can see all the batch-specific information along with the inventory. In this inventory section, we can see the debit amount, the user, the date and time, and it automatically calculates the current amount and the current location. And from this section in here, from the protocols section, we can see all the assays that have been performed on this molecule. So basically, it's a summary of all the assays that have been performed, and I can simply click on each of these protocols and see which batch was tested, the date of the experiment, and the readouts. As mentioned earlier, CDD Vault can also be used to store your biological entities, as in this example in here. In this report table, I have 2 DNA sequences, so I can see all the information for these sequences and also all the assays, all the results for this particular entity. We can view all these results, and as I scroll to the right-hand side, we can see this in a timeline view. If I go into the page, we can see all the information for this particular entity, along with all the results, all the assays that have been performed on this entity. So next, I'd like to show our visualization tool. Basically, this works with numerical data. If I launch the visualization tool, we get a 2D scatter plot with 4 parameters. And then from these drop downs in here, we can basically customize the X and the Y axis to whichever variable we wish. And from this setting, we can add the 2 extra variables to the plot. This is all chemically aware. So if we hover over the dot, we can see the chemical structure. If we click actually on the dot, we can see all the information for that particular compound. We can zoom in into a particular area of interest. And as we do that, we can see all the filters being automatically updated. And if I want to, I can add more filters from this drop down, and then I can further filter my data based on those filters. The visualization tool is great to filter and mine our data and to create plots with high quality images, or even create collections, which are a subset of molecules that you can use to share with the members of your project. And finally, I'd like to show you the ELN. The ELN in CDD Vault is useful for both chemists and biologists, and it's fully integrated with the activity and registration system, which means that you can register your molecules, you can register your entities, or you can register your assay data directly from the ELN. This is the ELN index page where we can see all the experiments that I have for the projects that I have selected. Starting just with a chemistry example, we can see that we can add the compounds into the body of the text using our editor, Marvin.js. We will know straight away if that compound is registered in the database or not, because if there is no ID in here, we will know that the compound is new and we can register it in the database. Once we register it in the vault, then we will be able to see the molecule ID and the batch number. If you're working with chemical reactions, you can also draw your chemical reaction, and CDD Vault will also give you the stoichiometry table. All your files can be added, all your raw data files can be added as a file repository. If it's Excel, if it's Microsoft files, we will be able just to see the content of the files, and also we can import the files directly into the vault. And of course, that biologists can also use the ELN to capture their experiments in a flexible way, where they can add all the data and all the information from their assays, and they can use the assay annotation, which allows to keep a summary of the terms that best describe your assay. All the images and all the raw data from your experiments can be added into the body of the text, and of course it can also be imported into a protocol directly from the ELN. And these are some of the examples of our CDD Vault customers. CDD Vault is being used both in large-scale collaborative projects and also in small organizations and academic groups. I would like to finish with this slide. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email and we will be happy to arrange a demo of CDD Vault. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Let me know if you have any questions, and see you next time. Thank you.